from Montreal to Memphis, from Perth to Piscataway, and from Brighton to Beijing. It's Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, from Washington, D.C., and it's pizza night. This is Brandon Reich from the SAS, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, and tonight I have decided to go ahead and bring home a pizza from the store. The store happens to be Harris Teeter Grocery Store. I got it on, Columbia Pike in Annandale, Virginia. Or actually, it might still be Falls Church right there. I'm not real sure. Anyway, I got Chicago's Home Run and Premium Pizza. They're classic. It's got pepperoni on it. Basically, it's uncured pepperoni, so it's an uncured pepperoni pizza. They claim to be Chicago's #1 selling frozen pizza brand, and I guess that's pretty significant considering there are a few pizzas that are directly out of Chicago that are in the freezer aisle, such as Uno, and also there's Gino's East. And, you know, that's crazy that, you know, you have all these pizzas from one place in, you know, grocery stores throughout the country. I think that's really great. You don't see a lot of New York pizza, you know, in, you know, the grocery stores around the country, which is kind of weird because New York pizza is pretty famous as well. Anyway, so to the pizza itself, it looks a lot like the actual picture did, except for it's very brown around the edges. It told me to put this thing in at 450 degrees for, it said 12 to 15 minutes. I think 13 tenantry is right. I think 10 minutes is generally going to be good for a pizza. This ended up being about 12 minutes because I was a little concerned about the crust, but you know, I like that there's a bit of browning on the cheese anyway, and I don't mind the browning on the outside either. So it's got pepperoni on it, uncured pepperoni. They seem to be a little bit bigger than the natural pepperonis that you see on other pizza. Well, not natural, but the traditionals. Anyway, also, there's not a lot of pepperonis on here, though. I can see, you know, some real estate that needs to have some pepperoni on there. Maybe they ought to put out a double pepperoni version. I don't know. The cheese smells fantastic. I'm actually very surprised with the way the cheese smells, and I'm looking forward to tasting that. I can't really smell much else in terms of the ingredients. Maybe a little bit of the pepperoni. One thing I'm a bit wary of is the crust is a little thin, and yeah, it's a little crispy. Not into thin and crispy crust. It doesn't say thin and crispy on there. It says classic. Maybe that's Chicago for thin and crispy. I don't know, because every other Chicago pizza I've ever had is a deep dish. But basically, it's kind of thin and crispy. Let me go ahead and pull this out. Yeah, it's got the stretchy cheese. I like that. It's kind of, it's not so bad on the end there. It's kind of drooping down. No, wait, that's all cheese drooping down. Let me recover that cheese. Holy crap, that's a lot of cheese. So, yeah, it's got good stretchy cheese, and it does have a little flop to the pizza, but I'm not too happy that it's going to seem like it's going to be a very crunchy piece of pizza. Not generally into that. Don't feel you can really get all the flavor of the crust when it's too, you know, cracker-like. It tastes more like bread or crackers or something like that. I'm not into that. So anyway, let me stop babbling at you for a second. You guys take a look at the box. I'm taking a bite. Sure, you can't read all of that, but it does have an interesting story there. And I'll post the nutrition facts as usual, so you don't really have to pay attention to that. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so, yeah, the crust was not great. Didn't have a lot of flavor to it. It seemed like a real just kind of flour and water crust. Not a whole lot of goodness going on there. I don't like the sauce. The sauce is very sweet and kind of funky. I don't know, it's not quite right. The cheese was right on point. Absolutely was dead on right about that. It was stretchy and pully and very smoky tasting. Almost like a provolone rather than a mozzarella, but I'm pretty sure it said mozzarella cheese on there. And you know what? I didn't have any real impression of the pepperonis. They weren't strikingly different than any other pepperonis that I've ever had. They weren't very crispy. I do like crispy pepperoni, so maybe I'd leave it in for another minute or two for that reason, but that would make that crust even more crispy and crunchy. Deducting 2 points for the crust and the sauce is basically going to give this a half of a thumb up. Can't quite get it to 3/4 there, and it's not bad, so I'm not going to tilt it down, but yeah, that's a legit half of a thumb up. So half a thumb up for home run in pepperoni classic pizza. Also an update, people were wondering about my sister Angie. Basically what happened is she is on the list for a liver transplant. She showed up to the hospital where she lives last week unconscious. They didn't know what was going on. There wasn't much brain activity. They had planned to take her off life support on Monday, and they did so, but she survived. She kept breathing because she's very, very stubborn, and started other biological functions. Everything was good there. Still unconscious, not a lot of brain activity, they're saying, but they've transferred her to Baltimore so that in the event she does recover, she will get her liver transplant. And actually, there seems to have been some good news this evening. She actually opened her eyes, according to her ex-husband, or actually her, not ex-husband, her estranged husband, but he was drunk. Who knows if he was telling the truth. Anyway, just kidding. But she's doing a little bit better, better week by week. Love you, Angie. Hope you get to see these videos one day. And once again, I'll see you on Tuesday for Burger 7 in Arlington, Virginia. Basically, all you got to do for the rest of the weekend, guys, and for Monday is think macaroni and cheese on a burger. Macaroni and cheese on a burger. That's what's happening on Tuesday. Tuesday after that, McRib officially is going to be back. It's actually coming back the day before that, but on Tuesday, the 18th, I will have a retro review, as I've certainly had the product many times, but I've never reviewed it for you guys before, and I'll show you how to do it brand and style. Anyway, so from the SAS, which you can join by going on Facebook. There's a link down below. Comment below as well. And thanks for joining us. In the meantime, in between time, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.